All right. Hello. I'm doing this for the second time because the first time that I did it, my mic was hard panned to the left, so you couldn't hear me half the time. It was really weird. So I was about to upload. I was watching a little bit of it back and was like, "Oh, whoops, that was silly." So hey, I'm Sergio. I sing in the Mirage. I play guitar. I produce. I am the lead songwriter, and I'm gonna be breaking down our song "Compromise" from our new album, our self-titled album, The Mirage. So this is "Compromise." Just starting off, drums pre-programmed. I did do a little bit of work on them, right? Right. So they have like some reverb. I compressed it a little bit, put in a multipressor, and I added a little bit of the exciter to really make a lot of the hi-hats and the snare kind of stand out. Um, and if I unfreeze it, I can see right here, I kind of panned out just a little bit. Just a little bit. Um, but yeah, I did do a lot of work on the drums even then, just making sure that they're different in every section and that they do exactly what I want. So like in the intro section, they don't move a lot, right? They're pretty like no fills, no swing movement, nothing. But over here in the verse, there's a little bit of fills, and I made sure that they were in the sections that I wanted to really emphasize like moments with the mix, right? And the pre-chorus is very different. It's a different like rhythm. And we have a chorus over here, which is very similar, but I had it do a little more of the like just to emphasize moments. But other than that, I mean, the drums are very simple. So let's move on to guitars, which to me, guitars are very important. Getting guitar tone right is very important, which is why. So this first note here is one guitar. It's my Epiphone. Then I bring in the rest of the guitars. So this is two different guitars, three different takes. This top one, the main one that you hear, is my Epiphone. This is the one I use when we perform live. It's a little like dirtier, a little crunchier, a little more bass heavy. And these are my Fender or Squire, whatever. They're like really stringy, right? They're really stringy, and I think on their own they're kind of annoying. I'll be honest. But combined with that Epiphone, they fill in the gaps for each other, right? These two don't have a lot of bass. They're really high pitched. And this doesn't have a lot of the highness. It's all just like the bass notes, basically. So they really... And some of that comes down to the way I strum, too, right? I'm purposefully making this one a little more bass heavy. I'm strumming more just the top three strings. And over here, I'm strumming the bottom three a little bit more. So they help fill in those gaps of each other. Because you gotta find, like, the strengths, right? Something else that I do, and I do this on almost every song on the album. I have this guitar. Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's two, sometimes it's three. Just follows. This one's more pronounced. This one's a lot less. They're different takes. But they do the exact same thing, and they just add texture to the song. They add some layers to it, and they really, again, I listen to a lot of rock music, right? And sometimes when I listen to rock music, I can't hear like chord changes, and so that kind of shit's really important to me. Um, and they just help really pronounce those chord progressions. Alright, let's go to the verse over here.
Set the table, keep it simple. Take my hand and let's begin. Your eyes on mine, trust on my mind. Peeling layers.
Don't hear those changes as much. It's a very subtle difference. Something that you will realize when you get into production is that not everything needs to be heard. It needs to be felt. And that's an example of it needs to be felt. You really do feel those changes. If I turn it off, whether I turn it on, it does make a difference. However small, you do feel that difference. Moving on to the bass here. The bass is really, really simple. It's one of the more boring songs on the bass. It just follows the guitar. It's a little crunchy. A little distorted. Right? What's this top thing? Oh my god, I can't see it. Alright, whatever. But it has a little bit of distortion on it. Just a little crunch. That's it. The bass is really simple. It follows the guitar, the chord progression, and that's pretty much it. But something that is pretty cool that you will probably never hear on this song. So I have this guitar do this during the final round of the verses. It is this. Just some light notes. Right, the clips a little bit, but... And that's always on the third round. You will never hear it in the song because the floaty guitars that you can't hear are above it. They're about the same level, actually. So you can't fully hear it. It kind of just acts like an echo. But it's really cool. It's really pretty, and that's why I keep it. Let's move on to... We have, let's move to the lead guitar over here. Oops. Let's move to this lead guitar line over here, the main. Like you'll come to notice, I like to layer things. Simple. It's not one guitar with some echo and delay. It's 3 guitars. So I can play you one, and they're panned differently, right? Just pan left. Hear that difference? Yeah, the third one. It creates a very natural echo and delay, and it really makes that like lead line stick out so much more, I think. And they're all different takes, so none of them are the same, right? With the distorted guitar and a little bit of chorus, distorted and a little bit of chorus, and this is clean. This is no effects. Just straight out of the amp. But it makes it feel like surround sound when you hear it on the album. Very simple, very cool. Sometimes doing stuff like that a little more like naturally, instead of like over compressing something to bring it up in volume, is better, I think, because then I get to keep these all like relatively like low in volume, right? I think they're all at -6. Yeah, since at 5.8, since at 6, since at 6. And I don't have to do too much. Like I only have three little effects over here, and then I have some reverb, some space distortion, and a tiny bit of delay. See how little delay I have on this? This right here is the tiny little blue dot that you see right there. That is how much delay I have on it because it is so natural sounding. I don't need to add anymore. That it's good as it is, just with the layers. Something else that's really really cool that I love that I did. Kind of stole this. I was listening to around the time I was writing this, I was listening to Green Day's Holiday, and they do this thing. A lot of rock bands do this, but I'll be honest where I got it from. I got it from Holiday, and they do this. So simple. It took like 30 seconds to do. Just to bring it in. You hear that with that? Adds emphasis for when it comes in. So let's hear it with it and then without. Right? A little bit of emphasis. Let's turn it off. See how much you miss it? It's so simple too. It's so small, but you miss it when it's gone. Yeah. I also do it over here in this big final section. It's a little less pronounced, but you can still hear it. Let's turn it off. See, even here, as much as little as you can hear it, you still feel it. Again, it's not always about how much you can hear it. It's about how much you can feel it, how it makes the song feel. And it's so simple. I also have a fourth guitar do this. Another clean one. Just add a little, make it feel bigger and grander at the end. But yeah, if you ever are like, oh man, I want my guitar to come in very impactfully, just do a little room. It's so simple. Woo. You hear that? Listen to that. Listen to that again. Powerful. Does it always work? No. But if you can find a place for it to work, hell yeah, you should do that. Let's move. Oh, okay. Let's go to these distorted guitars over here that I play. Right, this is kind of the calm response to the verse.
Peeling layers one by one till it's just us. Nothing to do.
So originally, this was supposed to be my voice too. It's supposed to be an echo.
Set the table. Keep it simple. Take my hand and let's begin. Right. Your eyes on mine. Trust on my mind. Peeling layers one by one.
Right. But I didn't like the way it came out with my voice. It didn't sound good in my opinion. Not that it was a bad idea, it just didn't work out. And then we tried it with the saxophone too. I don't have any of those takes anymore, but we did try it with the sax as well, also doing the na na, and it just didn't work either. Something about the tone didn't work out. But with the guitar, I think it worked out perfect.
Then let's begin. Your eyes on mine, trust on my mind. Peeling layers one by one.
Just something I don't think you hear it too much in the song, but on the pre-chorus. Faster, building the tension, which is what the reason why the vocals are sung differently during that pre-chorus, like they're faster and like more stuttery, is to build tension getting into that chorus, and this adds a lot to that.
anyway. I don't wanna rush, but I don't know what to do. I don't wanna rush, but I just keep falling. I don't wanna rush, but I gotta tell you, I don't wanna rush, but I think I feel it.
And then he does this during the chorus, which you don't hear too much on the actual song because I didn't want it to detract too much from the vocals themselves. And the more I raised it, the more it kind of like clashed. But yeah, here. Very pretty. But as you'll hear, let me play with the chorus.
Didn't wanna say, didn't wanna do, didn't wanna find out that I loved you. Everything's true when I'm with you.
Not that it detracts, it distracts a little bit. So that's why it's panned right and it's lowered a lot more than some of this other stuff because of that.
But I think I feel it. Didn't wanna say, didn't wanna do, didn't wanna find out that I loved you. Everything's true when I'm with you.
Again, it's about how it makes the song feel, right?
Think I feel it. Didn't wanna say, didn't wanna do, didn't wanna find out that I loved you. Everything's true when I'm with you. I see a little less shade of
a little cherry on top. It just puts it over, right? It just puts it over. It doesn't need it, but with it, it really elevates it. That's pretty much it for his distorted guitars. Oh, he does this during the where is it? During the bridge section. Over here. I'll have it isolated so you can hear it. Slightly different tone, a little more bass heavy here. We'll get to the sax in a little bit, though. Let's actually talk about one of my favorite things that I love to do. Synths and organs. These are just organs from my keyboard, from my old Yamaha keyboard. As you can see, I pen them in. There's only one, and then we bring in a second one. And a third one. And these play all throughout the verses. These are playing during the do 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 do. They play during the verse. They drone on a little bit longer. They just add. It's just a nice little texture, some little layers to really. I mean, listen to how the vocals sound with it. They sound great.
Keep it simple. Take my hand and let's begin. Your eyes on mine. Trust on my mind.
It sounds like church, dude. It sounds like church. So pretty. But yeah, I mean, they do that just during the verses, and then the bridge, since the bridge just kind of repeats those chords, they do the same thing here on the bridge. Something else though, speaking of like churchly sounding things, anthemic, not anthem, maybe anthemic's not the word, angelic things. I have a choir that plays during the pre-chorus right here. It's 3 different voices and a piano and like a little synth. You can hear this. Just a little piano. Some small effects. And this just makes each change a little more impactful. Let's get to the vocals themselves. So we're moving. These are moving in the way that chords are moving during the section, and so that's why like this doesn't change. It changes once, and then it keeps onto that note for the rest of the time. You can see that's a note. That's a different note. And it's because they're building a chord with all this other stuff, right? Right? But then you have this, and this is moving a lot more with the chords. This is the more important parts. And I add, as you can see here, in the beginning, there's only 2 of them. And then on the second repetition of the pre-chorus, I add in a third one to really give it a building. Really make it sound angelic. And then you add the little piano and the synth. Beautiful. You pair that with the pre-chorus vocals. Listen to that.
I don't wanna rush, but I don't know what to do. I don't wanna rush, but I just keep falling. I don't wanna rush, but I gotta tell you. I don't wanna rush, but I think
I hear it within the context of the song.
anyway. I don't wanna rush, but I don't know what to do. I don't wanna rush, but I just keep falling. I don't wanna rush, but I gotta tell you. Anyway.
It's crazy because it
Words are meaningless anyway. I don't wanna rush, but
that's okay, right? Listen to that without it.
Less anyway. I don't wanna rush, but I don't know what to do. I don't wanna rush, but
it's fine. Then turn it back on.
But I just keep falling. I don't wanna rush, but I gotta tell you. I don't wanna rush, but I think I feel it anyway. I don't wanna rush, but I don't know what to do. I don't wanna rush, but I just keep falling. I don't wanna rush, but I gotta tell you. I don't wanna.
They're not even super loud. They're not like the most noticeable thing ever. But it's about how it makes things feel, and it adds. You miss it a lot when it's gone. You miss it a lot because it does add a lot, even if it is a little more background, right? Let's get to. We'll finish off the instrumentals with the sax and this kind of outro thing. So let's listen to the sax on the bridge raw. So as you noticed, it's 3 different saxes, right? And I didn't have like the notes prepared for Josh. I just had the section, and I told him, okay, I want it to sound like they're dancing. The 2 characters, they're dancing, right? And so made it sound. Each one does something different. Different notes. They're all harmonizing with each other. that's why it sounds, when you listen to it, it sounds so much like two people like harmoniously dancing, because all of these saxes are harmonizing with each other. None of them are doing the exact same thing. Like they're taking the same steps, right? But it's not layering in the same way where they're all doing the same thing slightly differently. They're just different notes completely. They're harmonizing with each other. And it kind of brings it home here at the end. This is my favorite part. See, one holds, if you can hear that, one holds. I think maybe I boost it. Yeah, see, I boost it here so you can really hear it. And then these two dance around. As you can see, he did that on the 5th take and he did that on the 4th take. I mean, like, fast. Like, fast. Like, within 25 minutes, we were done. With the sax section. I think this is like, yes, this is the 4th one. So, yeah. You add this guitar over here, and it really brings home that feeling of dancing. He snuck in a little note there at the end. But yeah, I love, it's just simple instructions. Not even instructions, just like make them dance, bro. Moving on to vocals. Let's get into the verse vocals here. So let's hear them kind of just isolated.
Set the table, keep it simple. Take my hand and let's begin. Your eyes on mine.
Different takes.
Trust on my mind.
But I put a lot of reverb on them and I pitch shifted them a little bit to sound differently than the lead ones.
Set the table, keep it simple. Take my hand.
This is the 18th take, this is the 20th take.
My hand and let's begin. Your eyes on mine. Trust on my mind. Peeling layers one.
And again, just like with the guitars, it creates this natural sense of echo and delay that I think if you had put an effect on just the lead one, it would not have captured that right.
Set the table.
See how, like,
keep
that
it
sounds?
simple. Take my hand and let's begin. Your eyes on mine.
So full, right? So
Trust
big.
on my mind.
And that's why I do that, and I do that on everything here on this song. The pre-chorus is exactly the same way.
I don't wanna rush, but I don't know what to do. I don't wanna rush, but I just keep falling. I don't wanna rush, but I gotta tell you. I don't wanna rush, but I think I feel it.
So small, right? So small, but it sounds so much emptier without it.
Anyway, I don't wanna rush, but I don't know what to do. I don't wanna rush, but I just keep falling. I don't wanna rush, but I gotta tell
It really emphasizes the vocals, and that's why, like, on a lot of the album, I think the vocals are like center stage. It's because I do that on a lot of songs on the album.
Anyway, I don't wanna rush, but I don't know what to do. I don't wanna rush, but I just keep falling. I don't wanna rush, but I gotta tell you. I don't wanna rush, but I think I feel it. Didn't wanna say, didn't wanna do, didn't want.
A little different. So we have our lead, right?
I wanna find out that I loved you. Everything's true when I'm with you. I see a little less shade of blue.
You're like, what the fuck? This sounds so different, right? I didn't want the guitars to be the only thing that was distorted, and I was having a hard time with the lead vocals being like big and centered with just these three. I mean, let's listen to it without them, without these distorted vocals.
Didn't wanna find out that I loved you. Everything's true when I'm with you. I see a little less shade of blue. Sé que sí.
It gives it that presence, and it puts a little bit of like edge and distortion onto the vocals that they really need to kind of stand out within the mix. I mean, let's turn off Emily so you can just hear my voice.
Think I feel it. Didn't wanna say, didn't wanna do, didn't wanna find out that I loved you. Everything's true when I'm with you. I see a little less shade of blue. Sé que sí, lo sientes tú.
It does add a lot and helps really build.
Didn't wanna say, didn't wanna do, didn't wanna find out that I
I
loved.
did put a lot of shit on this. Put a 2BQ, some distortion, and then I pitch shifted it also, which is why they sound crazy.
I loved you, everything's true when I'm with you. I see a little less shade of blue. Sé que sí, lo sientes tú. Un amor en los colores.
Let's go to Emily's vocals though. So let's hear. Oh, fuck. Almost looped. So let's hear just Emily's vocals.
Didn't wanna say, didn't wanna do. That I loved you. Everything's true when I'm with you. Shades of blue.
And like usual, I like the number 3. So these are 3 different takes, right?
Didn't wanna say, didn't wanna do. That I loved you. Everything's true when I'm with you. Shades of blue. Sé que sí, lo sientes.
This one's kind of harmonizing with these other 2, right?
That I loved
These are the
you.
same.
Everything's true when I'm with you. Shade of blue. Sé que
Harmonizing with
sí,
their
lo
stuff.
sientes tú. Los colores.
Sounds so good. And I put a lot of as you can see on the overall thing, I put a lot of this exciter on it to really on her voice to really drive them, because she leads the chorus, let's be honest. She sounds fantastic.
Didn't wanna say, didn't wanna do.
Now that I loved you, everything's true when I'm with you. I see a little less shade of blue. Sé que sí.
She really fills in the gaps that my voice has. She's fantastic. I mean, just once again, just hear these.
Didn't wanna say, didn't wanna do. That I loved you. Everything.
Fantastic. And then we have, so something I think about a lot when I'm writing is there's this Tyler the Creator quote where he says that he's obsessed with moments and having like something come in one section and it only does this there, and this other thing only does this during this section, and people get obsessed with those moments, and that's what he's obsessed with. And that's why when you hear the song for the first time, the chorus doesn't have the en los colores, right? The first time it doesn't. It cuts out, right? And it goes back to the riff.
Un amor en los colores.
It's familiar, it's nice. But then we have the second one.
Un amor en los colores. En los colores.
Listen to that isolated. Guys, it sounds so
Los
good.
colores. En los colores.
As you can tell, there's 4 vocals, But the first time you hear it, you only hear 3. A part of making each section sound a little bit different and doing something different. This one only has 3 vocals. This shit is cut out
Los
completely.
colores en los colores.
So the second time that you hear this, it's different and it sounds crazy. Listen to this.
Los colores en los colores.
That harmony, that extra layer adds so much. So when you hear it again, hear it the first time.
En los colores.
Hear it the second time.
Los colores en los colores.
Wow. Crazy, right? And that's, again, it's part of that thing of finding shit. Finding those moments. Again, just hear it in context.
Lo sientes tú, un amor en los colores, en los colores.
Makes it feel huge and like final. And here, it sounds
Colores, en los colores.
but I didn't want it to sound too big because we're going into that bridge section, right? And everything kind of calms down. So I
En los colores.
So another little tidbit on the guitar. Back up here to the guitar real quick. I don't know if I talked about this earlier, but it kind of cuts here. The bridge kind of changed a little bit, and I wanted to change the way I strummed it. I wasn't liking how it was coming out up here, so I just did it again. So listen to that. Just little small things. Originally, I don't know what the fuck this was like, actually. Let's hear it. Maybe it's the same. Oh, a lot more, a lot faster. A lot more fast. Oh yeah, that sucks. That sucks. That was good on me to change it. This is way better. See how much these 2 other guitars make a giant difference? Yeah, the swell. I don't know if I talked about that. I don't know if I talked about the swell. Listen to this. Listen to this. This is just a sample I found in Logic. But it was really good. Listen to that in context.
Didn't want to say.
Ushers us into that chorus again, right? Listen to it without it. It's fine, right? It's fine. The drums are progressive and they move us into that section. But that it adds something.
Didn't want to say.
Really ushers us to like punch in. Without it, it's fine.
Didn't want to say.
Right? It's fine, but
Didn't wanna say, didn't wanna do.
so good. It changes it a little bit, right? I think that's pretty much it. Oh, over here. Speaking about sections, doing something unique. This will be the last thing. There's this over here. The outro keys. Simple. Josh did that in, that's the second take. 2 minutes? I mean, it was really fast. And on its own, it doesn't sound too spectacular. But you combine it with this. Changes it. Changes it a lot, right? On its own, it's kind of lame. Not lame, but in context, it. And that's it. That's Compromise. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you actually stuck through all, what are we at, 40 minutes? Yeah, 41 minutes. If you actually stuck through all 40 minutes of this, I hope you enjoyed it and really enjoyed hearing the ins and outs of the song and all the little different things, all the small things that really add to this big picture of what goes into making a song and like the production side of a song, right? Um, not all these things are going to happen when we play live. Are we going to have a choir when we play live? No, obviously not. But, you know, it's all about how you make somebody feel when they listen to a song. And the purpose of this song is to feel playful and fun, and again, it's about dancing. It's about dancing. And yeah, I love the song. Thank you for watching. This was episode 1, and I'll probably do one next week. I don't know what song I'll do. I might do either Summer Song or Valley Fold. Um, I guess if you have a suggestion, suggest. Um, but yeah, I appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you. That was Compromise. Um, yeah. Have a good day. I don't know how to end things. Have a good day. Thank you.